You know that feeling when you're reading a story and your heart is just pounding? You're literally on the edge of your seat? Well, that's not magic. It's a craft. And today, we're not just going to read a story. Oh no, we're going to take it apart, piece by piece, and see exactly how an author builds that incredible, nail-biting tension. Okay, let's get into it. Just look at this. This one sentence, it's the entire engine of the story. It's so simple, but it does absolutely everything. Right away, you know the conflict, you know the key players, and you know the stakes. We're talking life or death, all in just 9 words. That's what you call a perfect hook. So how do you even start to build from a hook that powerful? Well, you begin with the setup. In the literary world, they call this the exposition. This is where the author lays all the groundwork for that life or death struggle that we know is coming. Think about it, right? Every great suspense story needs that moment of calm before the storm, a baseline for us to connect to. The exposition introduces us to the world, in this case, a dense, kind of oppressive jungle, and more importantly, it introduces us to the characters we're about to be rooting for. And here they are. On one side, you've got Rafik, our protagonist. He really represents that human instinct, which, let's be honest, is often fear. He freezes up, and that makes him so relatable. But on the other side, you have Bruno, the loyal German shepherd. He's not just some dog. He's the hero here, driven by this pure, selfless need to protect. This whole dynamic, that's the real heart of the story. Okay, so the stage is set, we know our players. Now, the author starts to dial up that tension, step by methodical step. This part of the story is called the rising action, and it all starts with introducing our villain. Seriously, think about this for a second. A monster isn't just scary because it's there. It becomes terrifying because of how it's revealed to us. The author doesn't just throw a giant anaconda into the scene. No, they build its presence bit by bit, making our own imagination do half the scary work. This is what's so brilliant. Look at the escalation here. First, it's just a sound, something you can't see, which totally plays on our deepest fears. Then, a gaze. Now it's personal. The strike makes that threat real and immediate. And finally, the chase. A potential danger is now a real, relentless pursuit. It's an absolute masterclass in how to build a monster. So, the threat is real, it's horrifying, and our human protagonist is completely frozen with fear. This is the moment a hero has to step up. The rising action is still going, but now the focus shifts. It's not about the threat anymore, it's about the response. While Rafik is stuck, Bruno makes a choice. He doesn't even hesitate, he charges. This is that first big act of defiance, the moment our hero says, "I refuse to be prey." But his heroism isn't just about attacking. He sees Rafik as paralyzed by fear, so he physically yanks him by his jacket. And that's not just a physical thing, it's symbolic. He's literally pulling the human out of his own crippling fear. And he just keeps going. Again and again, Bruno puts himself right in harm's way. He lunged at the snake, basically creating a living shield. This isn't just one fight, it's a whole series of selfless sacrifices. This part is so smart. It shows Bruno's intelligence and his loyalty. See, his goal isn't just to fight the snake, it's to save Rafik. Every bark, every lunge, it's a calculated distraction. It's all designed to create that tiny window of opportunity for them to escape. Okay, all that rising tension, that desperate chase, it's all been leading to this. We have finally reached the story's peak, the climax. This is the moment where that fight for survival just explodes into a chaotic, final showdown. So the climax, it's the point of no return. The conflict has to be resolved one way or another. For Rafik and Bruno, this river isn't just some place. It's the final arena. It's where their fate is going to be decided. Man, look how the author just plays with our emotions here. First, there's a little glimmer of hope, the river. But nope, it's immediately crushed by despair when more snakes show up. It's a trap. The dive is just pure desperation. Then comes the battle, this insane struggle where Bruno once again takes on the monster. And that gives Rafik the one chance he needs to escape, pulling his savior to safety with him. What a breathless sequence. Whew, okay, after all that explosive energy of the climax, a story needs to breathe. This is the falling action and the resolution. The tension finally starts to go down, and the characters, and us, the readers, get a moment to process what in the world just happened. This slide shows that shift so powerfully. The author totally flips the script. The chaos and adrenaline of the chase, it's replaced by silence and trembling.
That relentless motion gives way to exhausted stillness. And that constant, terrifying hissing sound, it's gone, replaced by the quiet sound of bird calls. That contrast is what makes the feeling of relief so, so real.
And here it is, the emotional payoff. Rafiq's words aren't just a statement of fact, they're an acknowledgement. He confirms they survived, and most importantly, he finally calls Bruno what he has been this whole time, a hero. Their bond is officially sealed.
This right here, this is the story's main point, its central theme, delivered right at the very end. It frames the entire story not just as, a scary story about a monster, but as a story about the unstoppable force of courage that rose up to meet it. And this is the thought I really want to leave you with. Sure, they survived the night, but the story reminds us the jungle is endless, wild, and unforgiving. Survival isn't some happy ending. It's a temporary win. So that leaves us with the real question, right? What does true courage even look like in a world where the threats never really go away?